Hello everybody, Michael Holland here with supplement to the Week 3 instructor guidance for Principles of Marketing at Ashford University. I enjoyed reading all your papers in week number 2, the papers on marketing Las Vegas tourism. A number of people scored a perfect 10 on those papers, and many others had very, very high scores also. I really would have liked to have given everybody a perfect 10, but of course that's not possible because that's just not fair to the people who put in the extra special effort and did an exceptional job on those papers, the people who needed to be separated by that perfect 10 score. A number of things needed to happen to score the perfect 10, and several of you did this. You had to include all 4 elements that were required in that paper as listed in the assignment. You also had to make sure that the paper was free of any kind of mechanical difficulties, spelling or grammatical errors or sentence structure errors. Many of you did an excellent job on all accounts and was happy to hand out so many high grades. Looking forward to final papers coming up in just 3 weeks. Please spend some time with the written instructor guidance this week. There's a lot of good things in there that you'll need to know, specifically for quizzes coming up there. I specifically put content in there that you'll need for the quizzes. One of the assignments coming up in week 3 is pricing, specifically psychological pricing. Now, there's a great case study example in your textbook on psychological pricing, one that falls directly in line with an example from my past. There was a client who ran a retail operation, and in her retail store, the business owner set out a wide range of merchandise. There's a new line of merchandise that she was experimenting with, artistic figurines, custom made by a local artist. This was a new type of product for the store manager and owner to sell to their customers. They weren't quite sure on how to price it. So without having a lot of knowledge on how to price it, they did what a lot of merchants do. It's a shot-in-the-dark pricing method. They look at it, maybe they have a few conversations with some other folks, and they set a price. Well, this store owner at this particular retail location was really frustrated because these customized artistic figurines just were not selling. None were moving. So the store owner and manager tries a number of different strategies. First, you try making a different merchandise display. Still no sales activity. They move it to a different location in the store. Still no sales activity. Announcing that they've got these custom figurine artistic pieces in their store, something different than they've had before. Still no sales activity at all. Finally, the store manager just gives up and says, I need them out of here. They're taking up my floor space. Mark them down half off and just get them away. Well, one of the store manager's floor personnel misinterpreted or misexecuted is perhaps a better way to say it, the instructions to mark them half off just to move them. By mistake, they got marked instead of 1/2 as ×2, twice as expensive. Well, what happened astounded the store manager. You upped the price twice as much? Despite all those other things she tried to move those pieces, none of it worked. You upped the price twice as much. She sold them all. Sold them all within a relatively short amount of time. What happened? Well, in this case, her store visitors, her customers, were used to buying staple items where they could really assess the value of what they're buying. They didn't really need the price to measure what the value is. They knew because they were staple items. They were things that they had bought many times before. Well, these customized artistic figurines didn't fall into that category. So customers didn't know how much they were really worth. Oftentimes, when consumers don't know how much something is really worth, they'll use the price as a proxy, a representative, something to stand in, something to approximate. All those things mean as a proxy to what the value of a product really is. This was an example of psychological pricing. When consumers really don't know what it's worth, well, they'll look at the price. Well, somebody knows what it's worth. Somebody's an expert in this product category, and that somebody puts a price on it, and that price will tell me how much something is worth. An interesting example that astounded this store manager. Mark it up, they move. Mark it down, do all those other things, they didn't move. The case study example in your textbook offers an excellent point on this same psychological pricing phenomena in the category of vodka. Now, I certainly don't want to encourage any alcohol consumption. Some of you may or may not know or have experience with the quality of vodka. Uh, Most folks, if they told the truth, can't tell nearly as much difference as some vodka snobs may think they can. Well, the case study example that I encourage you to read in the psychological pricing study of your textbook offers the exact same kind of pricing phenomena as my store manager had pricing her artistic figurines. A vodka seller had the exact same phenomena happen. One of the assignments you have for this week is to think of other examples when that same sort of psychological pricing phenomena could have happened. There is reference pricing also within the section of psychological pricing. Feel free to cite examples that fit into that particular concept a little better. I'm going to hold off on giving you lots of other examples that I know of right now, because part of your assignment is to think of a few, and I don't want to take away any that you might have in mind. Next week, I'll look forward to sharing the ones that I know that perhaps didn't get mentioned in the class this week. Lastly, I'm going to sum up. Look at the instructor guidance, the written instructor guidance. It will be help for things you really need to know. Not everybody gets the same 10 quiz questions each week. They're rotated. The purpose for that is so that students don't all collaborate on sharing answers. There's a pool much larger than just 10 questions, and from that very large pool of questions, 10 will be randomly chosen and given to each student. So there's a lot of things I talk about in the instructor guidance that may or may not come up on your quiz this week, but please get in the habit of reading that. It will be in your own best interest. Again, thank you for the excellent papers this week. Enjoyed reading them all. Anybody who wants any further explanation on why perhaps they didn't get the perfect score, because not everybody got a perfect score, a lot did, please feel free to ask for more explanation. I tried to explain it all fairly thoroughly in the grade book section where the papers were submitted. Look forward to hearing from lots of you this week on the discussion board. Thanks again, everyone.